Hey, today is our first stream from the middle of the ocean. We have our Bering 92 crossing from Miami to Lisbon. And today with us, Captain Firat, and he will tell us what's going on, where he is, what's in the past, and what's ahead of him. Firat?
Sure, sure. Hi, Alexei. Hi, everyone. Well, yes, we are currently actually precisely in the middle of the ocean. Um, what is our coordinates? I can tell you right now. We're halfway in between, actually, Azores and Bermuda. It is the day 7 of our second leg. Um, or I expect to arrive at Azores, Ponta Delgada, on 3rd of June. Excuse me, 3rd of July. So we still have a couple of days more to go. But I wouldn't be wrong when I say we're literally in the middle of the Atlantic. And luckily today the weather is perfect. Very, very little wind. Not really any wave, maybe a foot or two. Perfect sunny conditions, although it did rain in the morning. There's only one problem though. No fish. Still no fish. Oh, we actually we actually talk about you quite often for that reason. We
I
really needed you
I think
on this passage.
you're traveling too fast. You know, it's hard to catch something at 8, 9 knots. You better slow down to six. You may catch some dolphin or something.
Well, yeah, well, maybe so, but I'm starting to believe I have some sort of curse on me because this is a pattern now. I've been trying to do this for a long time, and I'm notoriously unsuccessful at this. You gotta give me some lessons.
Yeah, I think we'll have a chance after Lisbon to on the way to Alicante. We'll try
Yeah,
again.
no,
We'll try again.
looking forward to it.
Ferrat, can
Um,
you describe to our audience the boat? I mean, what is Bering 92 briefly, like capability of this boat, characteristics, size, dimensions, volume, everything?
sure, sure. So Bering 92 Papillon is actually a custom built bearing. Um, I want to say he. Papillon feels more like a he. He has quite unusual characteristics when you compare it to other bearings. Um, for instance, it has a narrower beam when you compare it to other bearings. However, he's still a bearing in the sense that um, he's still built like a tank, a proper expedition yacht, capable of doing long distances, capable of taking on heavy seas, actually, which we have been doing so far without an issue. Um, she is 29 meters in length, um, 22 feet, I want to say. I don't know how how much it's in meters in B, and I think 1.85 meter in draft. She's a heavy, heavy. Well, he's a heavy, heavy boat, heavy yacht, a proper expedition yacht, and I've been I've had the privilege of captaining this beauty for over 8 months now, through the Caribbean, now through the Atlantic, and very, very soon through the Mediterranean. And we've been through pretty much most weather conditions, either while on charter or doing expeditions, some of which you were on board, of course, you witnessed. You've had some very
Yeah,
nice memories. Yeah.
absolutely.
Um,
But
and now we're
we
crossing
never
the
skip
ocean.
the meal. We never skip the meal. That's what most
That's
important.
true.
Even at 35,
That's true.
40 knot wind, we had the proper meals 3 times a day.
That is true. Thanks to Papillon, but let's not forget the chef, eh?
Absolutely,
She's been,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, by the way,
yeah.
one of the features of Papillon, we have two full-blown galleys. One is downstairs at the crew quarters and one on the main deck. And also we have sort of kitchenette up on the fly bridge. with the sink, fridge, freezer, grill, and everything. So
A
it's
very nice grill up there too. Yes, yes.
yeah,
And the chef chooses in between these stations depending on what she's cooking and how many people she is serving to, etc. But yeah, that is Papillon in a nutshell. Um, of course, there's a lot more to be added when we talk about Papillon, and he's been doing quite well on this leg and the previous leg, I have to say. Yeah, yeah.
can you
So
tell
don't let me
us?
interrupt you.
Can you give us a little bit details about speed, consumption, sea state, winds? You know, like you've been at sea for now for like 2 weeks already, uh, and
Yes, a little over 2 weeks actually. Yeah.
so you got some logbook and you got some data collected.
Yeah.
Can you share with
Yes.
us?
Yes. Yes. Of course. I thought a question like this would be coming, so I copied some entries from our logbook. Actually, it's written here in front of me now. The logbook is being used as other crew is on watch right now, and they're constantly filling in data. Um, to answer your question, well, our cruising speed is actually around 8 knots. That's where Papillon is the happiest. But of course, there are a lot of variables that needs to take into consideration. Um, it all depends on the sea conditions, the weather conditions, and of course, a lot also has to do with the operating of the boat itself. There are certain conditions that, let's say, high seas and you have big swells. If you are not operating the boat properly, meaning taking on the waves in a wrong angle, so to say, these values will change considerably. But to give you a couple of examples, I've written down two actually. One is from mid-April on our way back from Jamaica after we circumnavigated Jamaica, which I believe the videos will be published fairly soon.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. So mid-April, on the said date, it was blowing 30 knots. The sea state was 9 to 10 feet, and we were doing 1,330 RPMs, and we were taking the seas actually from starboard 80 degrees, almost precisely from a beam. And we were burning 55 liters per hour in total. Now, both engines were on at this point. We were trying to, I remember that day actually, we were trying to kick through a system and reach the safe haven of another island. But we were still burning 55 liters per hour, which is above our usual consumption. But I think it's a great consumption considering the
What
conditions.
is your average consumption in the calm sea like? What you experience right now?
Right now, we are actually burning less than 40 liters per hour when we have both engines on. And with that, we're making 8 knots easy. And our RPM is around 1200. So the engines don't really have too much load, maybe 35% load on them, really. And we're making 8 knots, sometimes way more if the current is in favor of us, which mostly it isn't. um, and with the generator, so with the consumption, and mind you, air conditioning is on, water heater is on, kitchen appliances is on because the chef is cooking still 3 meals a day. Seakeeper is on, which also, of course, consumes some power. And with all that, we are running on single generator. And when we run on both engines, and if we want to make around 8 knots, we're burning less than 40 liters per hour. If we run on single engine, like we're doing right now, to preserve some hours on the engines, we are, of course, we need to rev it up a little to catch that sweet spot of a speed. which also has to do with our schedule, of course, the route planning. So many factors that needs to be taken into consideration here. But yeah, right now we're revving up to 1500 RPMs on our starboard engine, and we're burning, I think, around 42 to 45. That's 4 or 5 liters per hour, including the generator consumption again, which actually gives us on full tank over 4,000 nautical miles of range easily. And if the current is in our favor, that range increases significantly too. These calculations, I mean, the mileage calculation that I just made is considering that the current, the usual current or the average current that we come across here is against us. For example, last night with single engine, with very minimal RPM, we reached above 9 knots of speed because the current was behind us and we were surfing it. Yeah.
Great.
So overall, our consumption is pretty impressive, I'd have to say.
So, I know you took some fuel in Bermudas, and so what is your strategy when you're crossing the ocean? Yes, you have a transatlantic range, but practically, what are you doing?
So it is, of course, a personal choice. Each operator and or captain will have their own approach to these things. I would like to approach these things from the safest side as possible. Even though we have the range to cross the Atlantic on full tank, I'd like to always keep a considerable amount of safety reserve. And by which I don't only mean the amount of fuel that we carry, but that principle I apply to the entirety of the route planning as well. That means if, say, my calculated days on sea for a certain passage is 10 days, I always make my calculations as if it's 12, and then I put some safety reserve on it. So some might find it maybe over safe, I don't know, but I like that approach. We refueled in Bermuda, even though we didn't really need to. And we're gonna refuel, not top up, but take on a little bit of fuel in Azores too, just to be on the safe side of things. The first leg from Miami to Bermuda, it was quite hectic. The weather was quite challenging. So I had to change the route, and we burned more than I initially intended to. That's why we topped up in Bermuda. But yeah, in Azores, I don't think we need to top up. We're just going to take on some fuel just to be on the safe side of things and proceed to Lisbon, which I'm looking forward to actually.
How much a generators consumes and how much of the electric power do you consume on average? I know it's a light load; it's just 4 crew on board, but what average and peaks you see during the voyage?
If you're pushing everything, meaning the galley is running, stove on, ovens on, appliances on, we
Laundry
have
going.
exactly. So everything is on. I think we're consuming in average 17 kilowatt maximum. And on board we have two 35 kilowatt Kohler generators. And on 75% load, they burn 9 liters per hour. And we rarely reach 75%. And there's always only one running at a time. So we switch in between. They can switch in between automatically, depending on running hours, of course. So we are burning, I want to say, maybe 5 liters per hour when we push everything on this crossing, which is nothing really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the engine
and of
burns.
course, the Seakeeper is running.
Yeah, the engine burns about 37 liters, and the generator, so you average in 42, somewhere there.
Yes. 37. Yeah, 37 37 to 40 right now on single engine when we rev it up a little. If for some reason we're doing short crossings and both engines are running in low RPM, our consumption per main engine is less than 20 liters. Between 15 liters and 17 liters has been our average so far. Very, very fuel efficient, which is actually a very big ease of mind for me. Because, when you do long distance crossings like this, many boats, not to mention many boats our size, has anxieties over over fuel. I know many boats that carry those inflatable fuel storages
Drums,
on
yes.
deck. Yes, which come with, I think, more complications and problems than benefits, really. But we don't really have that headache or concern for that matter, which is something I'm grateful for.
If I'm not mistaken, you're packing 27,000 liters, right? Of fuel.
24.3.
24.3.
A little, yeah. 24.3 distributed between 1 day tank and four storage tanks. Yeah. Yeah. And that actually, playing with it also gives me a nice ability to balance the boat as well. There are different volumes, and when you transfer and consume the fuel smartly, you can actually contribute towards balancing the boat, depending on the conditions, of course. But yeah, that's
Can you say a few words about the stabilization system? Because this boat kind of unique. It's got 4-fin hydraulic fin, active fin stabilization system, and on top of this, or plus this, we have a Seakeeper 35,000.
Yeah.
Tell me your experiences with Seakeeper only, or fins only, or them together. How you can comment.
So we had a short holdout session, if you remember, in Fort Lauderdale. When we hold out, it was for a survey purpose. When we hold out, the operatives of the marina, the technicians on the ground, I think at least 3 of them over a period of 2 days came to me and asked, 4 fins? Really? This is a bit of an overkill, don't you think? Because they're never used to seeing 4 fins on a boat like this, let alone the gyro on top of that. So that tells you something. The boat is overstable in many conditions. Actually, as you know, we've been collecting questions from the audience, and our team has sent some of them to me. I can see someone asked about the gyro. Yes, about the gyro and how it does. In all honesty, most of the time we don't even need the gyro. Not underway, not even at anchor, because our fins work at anchor as well. However, when you run them both, they complement each other so well that the boat actually becomes rock steady. You almost have no rolls, just the movements of the waves that create some motion on board. For example, now we have the waves are picking up a little. We maybe have 3 feet of swells, and they're reaching us on our starboard 45 degrees. And I just checked, our pitch is 2 degrees. Sometimes it reaches 2 degrees. So the boat is really almost not moving at all. And there is no roll, of course.
We can see it. The railing is same line as with the uh, with a
Yes,
horizon.
exactly.
Yeah, and we can see you're not moving at all.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
can see from my coffee, it's that, that's great.
Yeah, I remember when we had hydraulic fail at one point. We were anchored and we had some failure, and we had seakeeper only, and
Yeah,
it was blowing up to 40 knots, and we had
yes,
at anchor we had 5 to 7 foot swells, and seakeeper was doing it. It was not we were not missing things too much, so we had sailed.
exactly. And we were on Berry Islands that day.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember, but the swells were hitting us abeam, and yet the winds were blowing, of course, from the bow because we were at anchor. So we had motions going on in various different
Yes.
directions, and yet the Seakeeper handled it quite well. It's a Seakeeper 35. It's actually a marvelous piece of technology. I can't help but admire every time we service it. And it does perfectly, of course. Yeah,
Great.
luckily. On the first leg too, coming from Miami, we had over 35 knots of wind, and the sea state was at some point 12 feet, sometimes even more. And we had to actually take on those swells in a less favorable degree because I was running away from a certain system. So we had to make way. And that kept on going for 4 days straight. But life on board continued. We cooked, we eat, no one got seasick. Luckily, none of the crew gets seasick anyhow. But life on board kept going. We worked out, even played some cards at some point. Yeah. So rock steady boat. Thank you for that.
It's comfort. It's comfort. And another thing, the noise and vibration. What do you experience of these issues? Anything? How-
No. I mean, you don't hear anything really. Right now, we're revving up a lot. There's the sea under us, generators on, and we are actually sitting right above the engine room. And I'm sure you're not hearing anything. I'm not
No.
using any noise cancellation, or I'm terrible with technology like this. I don't even know how to. But yeah, you're not hearing anything, I bet.
Yeah, I know
The
it's
boat is dead silent. Um, Apart from being silent, you don't really feel any vibration either. So it's very, very smooth experience of navigating, which we hear um, quite a lot from our charter guests as well as the visitors that we have during boat shows too. Because just for the fun of it, sometimes I run the generator and I give uh, our friends and clients so on the boat tour, and I tell them, look, generators are running right now. Do you hear anything? It is impressive.
yeah.
It is impressive. Yeah.
How is the question? Are they coming? You,
Yes, I think people are asking quite a lot of questions. Um, and in front of me, I have some that we've collected as well. Some of them I hope we've answered already. For example, someone asked about the fuel consumption per hour.
we
So
answer, I
just to
think.
maybe go over it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, less than 40 liters, really. There are a lot of questions regarding life on board, life of the crew on board Papillon during this crossing. Someone asked how we keep ourselves at shape, which of course assumes that we are in shape already. Thank you. Um, but it is actually a great question because even though the yacht is big and comfortable and you have space, still the space is very limited. Therefore, you're in long crossings like this, your movement is limited and sometimes constricted to some extent. So you have to keep busy for your physical health as well as your mental health. Um, how we do that, most of us actually work out. We have small equipment like resistance bands, jumping ropes. The fact that you can jump rope under passage also tells you something. But also something that most people don't realize is on board you use a lot of muscles that you don't use on land, just to stabilize yourself, or trying to catch fish and fail. But yeah, to answer that question, we do work out. And a lot of people are asking the most difficult stages of the crossing, which I think you can answer too, because you have done some very, very serious heavy weather passages in sailing, especially in the northern seas. I know you're full of stories that would freeze the blood of some.
It was not my longest trip non-stop was 9 days, from Maine to
Uh-huh.
Miami on my hull number one. So
Uh-huh.
it was pretty smooth passage, but I've been in a very rough sea and most important in a very cold sea. So when you have the
Mhm.
outside temperature minus 15 Celsius, which is like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sea temperature is around 2 degrees Celsius, which is like 35 Fahrenheit,
Mhm.
then
Wow.
the whole thing has become different. So
Yes.
uh, your spray, your spray, everything is freezing on your steel structures, and it's pretty scary. So
It is a
it's
completely different
it's different.
environment.
I don't advise anybody to travel in this condition ever. So we just had to work.
Yes.
But uh, I never had the long crossings. I think you have much more experiences and
Well, for us, of course, we don't have the extreme temperature or conditions of the north, although we do get some serious storms out here. And I mean, we are in the hurricane zone, so uh, things can get ugly quite fast. But I think speaking about long passages in general, the most difficult can be the psychology on board. And precisely at this point, the crew comes into play. If you have um, a very good crew with the perfect environment, that alone will create an atmosphere that'll allow you to actually sail through terrible conditions without any difficulties. And luckily, we have that here on board Papillon, um, and that saves a lot of bad days or a lot of potential bad days out at sea. So that probably is one of the most difficult parts of doing long crossings like this. And then, there are, of course, a possibility of something breaking down, something unforeseeable. And there, the preparation of it comes into play too. If you're prepared well enough and you have the knowledge to tackle any unforeseeable challenge that the ocean can throw in your way, you're good, really. Overall, I have to say I enjoy long passages quite a lot, but most of it is thanks to my crew, I have to say. Yeah, we're lucky in that regard. Even now, they are up there probably watching this, but right before we started, they were holding watch and playing cards. Probably Uno or something is their favorite, and having fun up there. That's precisely what you want to have on board, an atmosphere like that.
yeah.
And yeah, regardless of how is it outside, life is good.
Yeah. Do you
I
see
think.
any traffic around? Do you see anything around, or it's
We've
desert?
seen two two boats so far. One cargo ship, and one super yacht who's also doing the crossing like us, aiming for Ponta Delgada Azores, just like us. But they were much bigger than us, and it was a sailboat. They were motor sailing.
Mhm.
But that was 3 days ago. 2 days ago, we saw a cargo ship, and that's it. Nothing else. Nothing. You
Okay.
know, just occasional dolphins. Um, and I have to say, it is a bit saddening, but we do come across quite a lot of garbage, unfortunately.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, there is some pollution out here, which I think is increasing, sadly. We're clearing it, whatever we can, but that's really not doing much. Apart from that, there's nothing going on. Just clouds, occasional rain, and yeah, no other boats. We are, I think, being showered with questions. Um, oh, so, someone. Okay, they're saying people are sure that we will catch some fish around the Azores. I hope so. The chef promised us some sushi. We'll see. Someone else asked how large of a crew we have on the journey and what are their individual designations as far as job duties. Um, so, with your permission, let me reply this. At the moment, we are four, including myself. Um, there's Sevda, the chef. She's my fiance. And we have Chris, who's our backend engineer, and we have Jody, our stewardess. Um, Apart from their job titles and the duties that come with it, at the moment, they're all three of them are actually taking active parts in watch duties. Oh, actually, this will be answering another question regarding watch. The most common watch schedule there is 6 on, 6 off. However, on board Papillon, we do things a little differently, and our watch schedule actually changes depending on the passage that we're making and whether or not we have guests on board or not, because sometimes we do passages with guests on board. Uh, but for this crossing, we do 3 hours on. So everyone holds 3 hours of watch, and they do it alone with the exception of me, although I have my entitled my designated watch hours, but I'm kind of always around and carry a monitor with me, monitoring the passage, the values, and all. So everyone holds 3 hour long watches, and then they take their rest, which gives us actually two very important things. One, a proper rest time, and two, proper socializing opportunity with the other crew. Because when you do 6 on, 6 off, if you hold your watch, say, through the night, as beautiful as it might be, there's no one around during your watch, and then during the day you're half dead because you're very tired. That isolates you from rest of the crew, and I don't really like that. Um, so those 3 hour watches allow us to both socialize, pay proper attention while on watch, which is also very important because we there are a lot of values we have to keep monitoring: temperatures, pressures, not to mention the route, course over ground, etc., and log them in. So it gives us that availability to focus, but also gives us the opportunity to socialize, like the rest of the crew doing at the moment. Yeah.
Yes, I remember once we were crossing on Bering 65 from Hong Kong to Subic Bay, Philippines, and it was a slow crossing because the wind was like 40, 45 knots. It's northeastern monsoon,
Oof.
in December, it's like a pipe. It's blowing constant, and it's 15-foot sea, like constant. No ease. So
That's
there is absolutely useless to wait for a window of opportunity because it's blowing steadily, like most of the months during the winter. And it was three of us, and we didn't see each other for like 5 days. So
yeah,
we
yeah.
did eight hours watch, and it was very tiring. So it's a lot of traffic there, and you you really have to watch and concentrate. But means somebody's always sleeping, someone is somewhere, and you are alone pretty much all 5 days. Very little
Yeah, yeah,
communications, very little communication. So
yeah. That's usually what happens, unfortunately. But this works for us. This has been working for a long while, and we're gonna stick to it really, and everyone's happy. Of course, the hours are not fixed. Every now and then we rotate, so everyone gets to see sunrises and sunsets, which are the most beautiful parts of the
yeah,
day, I find.
what
And
what
out
time
here, there.
what time you keep on board? What is your shoot time? That's
Uh, we are currently at GMT -3. That's our ship time. So it's 12:38 at the moment.
okay. So
And
are you
yeah,
gonna
and
change
we're
it? Did you
sticking
change
to
it? Did you change it after? When did you change it after US time?
we changed it in Bermuda, and
Uh,
the next change will take place in Azores. Until we make port, we're gonna stick to this current ship time, just simply not to mess with the watch hours and biological hours of everyone. Yeah,
great.
that is our ship time. More questions coming. Uh, oh, one question for you, actually, Alexi. Someone's asking if future boats will have jet ski propulsion. I think jet propulsion is
Mm,
someone's asking that.
mm, jet propulsion. If we're speaking about bearings, displacement boats, jet propulsion uh, is not a good choice for the displacement boats. Uh, on Bering Marine side, we're examining some of the models maybe without jet propulsion. But it's a
Oh,
fast
that's
boat.
exciting.
Jet propulsion is great for the fast moving crafts. Jet propulsion efficient in a very how to say narrow RPM window. So when you go slow,
Mhm.
it's not efficient. So you have to go pretty much wide open in order to make most efficient. And of course, there you go slow and jet propulsion for displacement boats. I never encountered.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
the answer
me
is not. We're
either.
not planning to use jet propulsion yet.
Yeah, yeah. And I have to say, I'm not really a big fan of jet propulsion either. I like some things old school. More questions. Wow, people are wondering a lot of things. How fast are you traveling on average? Also, do you ever get any unexpected weather? Um, well, on average, we're traveling 7.5 to 8 knots, um, which is the happy speed. Not only consumption wise, but also when the seas are high, most of the discomfort actually is derived, well, it comes from trying to accelerate. If you hit that perfect speed, which you can only perceive if you are able to feel the boat, as any operator should. But when you hit that sweet speed, you will see a significant improvement on conditions, movement of the boat, the consumption, how it affects everything. So for us, it's between 7 and 8 knots, 7.5 to 8 knots. We can do more if you want to, but what's the point? Do you ever get any unexpected weather? Yes, we do. Although part of our route planning, passage planning, is extensive weather routing. But in long passages like this, the forecasts become very unreliable, as you would also agree, Alexi. This leg, for example, takes 13 days. And if I am to look into weather models that are forecasting 8 days, let alone 13, you will get radically different forecasts, and none of them is reliable because everything is constantly moving, constantly changing. So you are always under the possibility of an unexpected weather. Therefore, you have to prepare for it. You have to be on a boat that is capable of taking it on, and you have to make your preparations in many aspects. Yeah.
Yes, and you're right. For the long passages, the weather is highly unpredictable. What you can encounter, and you better have a safe craft which is designed and built for such passages and can encounter bad weather. And also in some areas, the weather can change so quick
Yes.
that you will not. It's sometimes it's local weather formations which are not well predicted by the weather forecast agencies, and local knowledge are always important. And if you travel in unknown areas, you better talk to local captains or get one on board who knows local patterns, local currents. Because currents, once I've seen the current of 20 knots, it's a scary thing when the boat can make maximum 12 and you're in a current of 20, it's a very uncomfortable situation.
Exactly the same for ocean passages like this. You have to know the seasonal characteristics of the latitudes in which you're traveling. That way, your assumptions can be a little more accurate, even though you're planning days ahead. This actually reminds me about the speed, because someone also asked if we do not get bored traveling in a relatively slow boat. I want to reply that, and I actually want to ask you something, Alexi. Well, the short answer is no. We don't really get bored, but it is a funny topic, because I get this a lot from people, and I usually hear this from people who are used to light displacement boats built for speed. They're used to making 20 plus knots of speed in average, and for some reason, being slow doesn't really feel maybe even safe for them, because in the back of their mind they have this, which I believe is an uneducated assumption, that you can outrun the weather. In reality, no one outruns the weather. You can be on the fastest ship built on Earth. The nature is still gonna do whatever it does, and eventually you will get caught. So I find it much better to be on a displacement boat, slow, yes, but by planning ahead, you can avoid a lot of things. But when that inevitable weather hits you, you want to be on a boat built like a tank, like ours. So I actually want to ask you, because you've been building boats for a long time now, and without an exception, you're building full displacement boats, steel hulls, ocean going, take anywhere kind of boats. And this is a certain design inclination, of course. This is a choice of yours. where does it come from, if you don't mind me asking? What led you towards choosing this sort of design, simply put?
Mm, I don't know, maybe my desire to go somewhere, because majority of the boats I've seen on the boat shows and in the marinas or offered for sale, it was boats which are not capable to go anywhere, really, like in the vicinity of the base, basically. If you have a range of, let's say, 1,000 miles, your practical range is 300 miles, so you can you either hopping or you go back to the base after. So I would needed a long fuel range and expedition, and I know the expedition boats have to be heavy in order to be comfortable. So we need to keep this ratio, gross tonnage and displacement. We need to keep it around one. So, and a fiberglass boat, you have to put like that much fiberglass to reach the same weight and the same level of comfort. I can find it. How to say, practical, I would say. And also steel is a watertight material. Steel is a non-flammable material. So that's just common sense, right? Just common sense.
Yeah.
It's why all majority of commercial vessels are steel vessels. And remember when we spent like 5 days in the Silverbank at sea, open
Yeah.
ocean? Who was there? Just three large steel boats. I think they were over 60 meters chartered. I mean, the passenger boats. So no one
Yeah.
else. And also, when you did your voyages, you didn't see any fiberglass boats around it, because you
No.
travel mostly in a faulty weather, and everybody was hiding. You were the only one boat out there, except for commercial traffic. So
Yeah.
that's probably why, and also you know commercial boats which I operated, my fishing operations, they were steel. I know steel. I believe in steel, and even steel is not matched to the sea. I can tell you, I've seen so many things happen to the steel boats, which
Mm.
make it hard to believe that water is soft matter. Water is not a soft matter.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, I actually quite agree, and yeah, I feel like the same. Have always been a fan of displacement boats, and feel what you have changed my approach towards steel. I was always a little hesitant, uh, simply because I've come across a lot of poorly built steel boats, and they always kind of make me feel like too much maintenance. But yeah, you've
So
changed my mind, really.
this is this is
Yeah.
this is your first experience actually on the steel, working on a steel boat, right?
Yes, but for this amount of time, yeah, I've been mostly on fiberglass boats. Yeah, some of them were also displacement, but this is a complete different creature, really. Yeah, very, very well built. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my phone at the same time because a lot of questions are coming. Uh, how many nautical miles will you travel between your longest land options? Uh, if if this question is about this crossing, it is between Bermuda and Azores, to be specific, Ponta Delgada of Azores, and it is roughly 1,850 miles to 1,900 miles. And mind you, we are doing a great circle route, so it is really the shortest distance in between. And this is the shortest distance that you can get. If a weather hits, we would deviate from our course, and the stretch would become greater. If this question is about the longest that we can potentially make on board Papillon, um, again, depending on the conditions, it is 4,000 nautical miles and even more, actually, if everything goes well.
Yeah, I think the wrench is clearly a factor of your speed. If you go 9 knots, your wrench is less than when you go 8 knots. And also currents, weather, wind, waves also taking a lot of energy from the engines. So you're generally burning more,
Yes.
even if it's not against, if it's a beam, if wind is not against you, the waves are slowing you down inevitably.
Yes, yes. And I think Papillon is among Bering Yachts, one of the boats that has the shortest range, correct? Correct me if
Uh,
I'm wrong, but all the other
yes,
yachts have longer ranges.
most. Like for example, our Bering 88 got almost 2 times more fuel, 40,000 liters versus 24,000 liters.
Wow.
And same engines, same consumption, nearly the same consumption. So you
Mhm.
can see how much greater the range of Bering 88.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I cannot wait to see and be on board a couple of those, really. Um, but yeah, luckily we're coming closer.
Yes,
So who
yes.
knows? Yeah, I'll be able to visit the shipyard. I hope so. Someone also asked about our charts and about our water maker. So what kind of water maker we have on board, and if we had any problems with it. We didn't. What we have is an high pressure brand water maker. So if you maintain the water makers, if you take care of them, they are really working on a very simple principle. It's high pressure seawater pushed through a reverse osmosis membrane, and you get, uh, fresh water out of it. But yeah, as long as you keep them maintained, uh, there isn't really any problems with that. And the charts, we have digital charts as well as paper charts. I like to use paper charts as well. So the passage planning, which you'll see actually in the videos, we've been shooting quite a lot. I like to use paper charts, and I plan my routes based on paper charts when it's this long distance. We use different projection types and transfer from one to the other. But yeah, long answer short, we have both digital maps, of course, as well as paper maps. Speaking of the design, uh, who's become a dear friend of ours, Rico and Victoria, they are building a yacht now, the 82. I want to ask how it's going, if you don't mind. And I can barely follow their YouTube channel simply because we're too busy. But now I have the right person in front of me. Let me take this opportunity
You,
to ask you.
you know, it's such a good timing because Rika and Victoria just arrived today to the ship. It's a pure coincidence. So Rika and Victoria are here, and oh,
Are they there? How are you guys?
We can't hear you. Maybe you can hear us, but we
Oh,
can
that's
only
right,
see
the
you
headphones.
because get the sound in here.
Oh,
So you might have
I'm
to
saying
touch
sound
terrible
is right
things.
here.
Yeah, you can hear us, right?
Terrible things.
Can
Yes,
you guys
yes.
hear us?
Can
In the
you
live
hear?
chat?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear them perfectly. Tell them we missed them.
Maybe Rika can say something about the question they asked.
Yeah, the question. No, stay.
Sit.
That's all. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's a question getting asked if Bering 82 is ready to cross an ocean. Well, at the current moment, it's not ready yet to cross the ocean.
Oh, someone asked it. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Please
can't
continue.
hear you, Firat. Sorry.
But Alexi can hear you.
Yeah. You have to translate for us.
Okay.
What is he saying?
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm listening. Please continue.
So he's listening. Please continue.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but Bering 82 will be ready to cross oceans and hopefully many oceans, and we will have some exciting journeys, and maybe you will join us on one of them.
Would love to.
That
Would
sounds
love
like a
to.
no.
That would be great.
No,
It's a
no,
yes,
no, no.
okay.
It says I would love to.
We were thinking about the North West Passage.
That's
Yeah.
now
That was one of the
right
bucket
here.
list. Bucket, sign you up. Okay,
Right,
one of the bucket list
right,
items.
right here.
Definitely.
It is. Yes, yes.
Alexi
it
already
is.
has the
That's
spot
my.
reserved though.
No, we collected the team because the 145 Hughes owner, he also wants to do a Northwest Passage, and a couple of my other customers wants to do it.
Yeah,
And
we should do it all together.
I think we're gonna build a team, and a few boats will go Northwest.
So it's going to be a fleet family trip.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I am jealous. I mean, I would love to. I would love to. Why not? Maybe
He
we'll.
looks excited, but I have no
Who
idea
knows
what
in the
he's saying.
future, eh?
Because
Yeah, you know.
Firat,
All right.
everything you're saying, only Alexi can hear because he has the headphones on. We don't hear what you're saying, but you look excited. You look very excited.
He's not translating
I am.
anything to
I
us.
am excited.
So, yes, I'm glad you guys are having a conversation at our expense.
By the way, I really like the fake screen you have behind you in your hotel room.
It even moves a little
It
bit.
even moves a little.
Just
It's
a little.
very realistic.
Okay, future
Very
plans.
Technology. So, Firat, a few words about the future plans, like people ask you also
Yes,
what is the future plans for
So-
Papillon, and
Good. After completing the passage, we're gonna arrive at Lisbon, where we'll meet you. To be precise, in Kashmir, west of Lisbon. So you guys can hear me now, correct?
Yay! Nice.
now we will.
Okay, good to see you. Perfect. I have to say we missed you guys quite a lot, eh? So going back to the question, we will arrive at Lisbon, where we'll meet you, and with you we're gonna travel to Spain, Alicante, and slowly through the season we're gonna make our way towards Eastern Mediterranean, and I think we're gonna conclude the season there.
I know.
And
it's gonna
then
be a
I will-
beginning- It's going to be a beginning of off-season expedition charters.
Yes, that is the plan, which I'm actually very, very excited about. I've been dreaming about that sort of charter for years now, because we've always, and when I say we, Sevda would agree too, we've always been craving for something different, something more meaningful, if I may say, that has an adventurous context. And when we met you, you also voiced the same dreams, and now they're becoming a reality. Being in a bay, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the toys is of course very good, but there has to be something more than that, including that, yes, but much more than that, and hopefully we're gonna make it happen. And then hopefully slowly we'll convince you to do a Northwest Passage as well. Why not? But yeah, jokes aside, we're really, really looking forward to this season. And at the end of the season, of course, the Mediterranean will be beautiful, and we'll be cruising through it. Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, the expedition style, which we will try to do this beginning this fall, I think it's a future of charters. When you have, first of all, when you have a meeting, you go for some purpose. So it's an expedition, and you can join the expedition which suits your interest. And also, you have a flexibility to get just one stateroom, two staterooms. How big is your companies? You have no obligation to charter a whole boat for increment of 1 week. I think it's very not comfortable, I would say. So you can see the voyage plan, you can plan your trip, and you can go just with your wife or with your friend, or little family can have two rooms, and the rest of the boat will be occupied by somebody else or nobody. So an expedition
Yeah.
can go on. So I think it's a future of charters, and we will explore it together.
Perfect. Cannot wait. And I agree. It is certainly the future. And I've been actually hearing this more and more every day from people from all around the world. And when we briefly mention these to people, they get extremely excited. Immediately want to ask and hopefully, but potentially want to book something. But I don't think the dates are there yet. Very soon, I believe they will be.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So I think question-wise,
I was
maybe
catching up on you
we
guys'
can.
comments. That's why I was looking at my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
feel like you guys
anything you can
answered-
see, because
You guys answered a bunch of stuff already.
I think we did, yes. But I believe there are more. Please do tell me if you can spot any that I potentially missed.
There's probably lots, but people can put them in the real comment section, not in the live chat comment section. And then Alexei, the team, and Firat maybe can answer them down the line. So when you guys wrap it up,
Yeah,
and if something
yeah.
wasn't answered because it got lost in this, crazy amount of comments, just put it in the comment section underneath the actual video. Because this is gonna stay on the channel, correct?
Yes. Please do, everyone. As you would understand, it is not possible for us to answer each and every single question at the moment. But what we can maybe do is shoot another video later answering the questions. So feel free to comment down below. And it feels a little funny doing this in front of you. But
Is it your first live?
comment down below. What's that?
Is it your first live that you've ever done, YouTube live?
It is, yes.
Wow, you did really well.
It shows.
Oh.
I'm joking. No, you're doing
Come on.
fantastic.
I've been watching and copying you. But yeah, everyone, please do comment and we can shoot a video later about that.
I think we did my first live was
with
on
us.
the plane.
Yes. No, we didn't. I know you keep saying we did it live on the plane. I don't think so. I think you were dreaming that. We recorded some question and answers, but the first live we did together, and it was at one of the boat shows. I think it was at Flips. You and I did a first live, and I don't know, Rico was doing something, but yeah, I remember that, and I think that was your YouTube live version experience.
Okay,
yeah.
now we will do it more.
Yeah, you guys should. I mean, put in the comments if you guys enjoyed it and what, if you like the structure and if you guys think, like, how would you want them to do the live to make it more interesting? Just put all these suggestions in the comment section underneath the video so it gives me feedback since this is your guys' first live like this. I think it would be very helpful to know what you guys are looking for out of these videos.
Exactly. Please
I got a couple
everyone.
of questions for you,
Ooh.
Okay,
yes.
So I've done some long passages as well, never an ocean crossing, but long passages along coastlines like, down the California coast, down to Baja, Mexico, etc. We had some interesting things happening at nighttime sometimes when you're at night watch. Interesting noises, or you feel like there's, some ocean life next to you. Or we had for hundreds of miles an osprey following us and trying to land on it was a sailboat, tried to land on the top of the mast, and we only saw it because it created a shadow from the moon. And we were like, oh wow, there's something flying up there, and then during the day he was still around. So any interesting experience, anything on this crossing so far, which you can elaborate on, or anything happened?
Yes, actually. And it's in video too, so you'll see it hopefully later. It was 2 days ago, flat seas, right? Nothing, not even a single point on radar. And all of a sudden, something appeared. I slowly approached it, but there were still a couple miles between us. You come across floating garbage, some pollution, but it's not possible for the radar to pick it up. It has to be something sticking out. So I took the binoculars and I looked. It was, let me think, it was south of me, and the sun was setting. So when I looked through the binoculars, I saw a shining white pole, which made me think like a half-sunken sailboat. So I said, okay, I gotta make sure. I alerted the crew. We changed course immediately. We were trolling the lines. We cut them in and started sailing there, towards there. And the funny thing is it disappears and reappears, even though there are no swells, as if, you cannot help but think, okay, if someone's in distress, they're constantly thinking, whatever, and 1,000 things going through my mind. But we know what we need to do, so we sailed. And it turned out to be an afloat buoy, standing up like that. It wasn't white, but because of the sun's reflection, it appeared perfectly like a half-sunken sailboat. It was just floating in the middle of the ocean. But for a good 45 minutes, we were, speculating. But it might be. Yes. But it turned out to be nothing, of course. Of course, we couldn't pick it up because you never know what's attached to it. Better to keep a safe distance in case you wrap something around your props, potentially hurt your boat and endanger the yacht and the crew on board. So we kept our distance, but we made sure. So far, that has been the most interesting event, I'd say.
One more question.
Yes.
Where are you currently? Position-wise?
Where am I currently? I'll tell you exactly. I have my phone with me, and it is connected to our chart plotter. And it's frozen. It's time for me to get a new phone, I think.
I knew you're in the hotel room.
Okay, well, 1 second. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, actually, I have a better idea.
Yeah, show us the.
Are you going to take us to the? Oh.
I'll ask you. Chris, do you copy?
No Chris on board.
Chris, can you tell me our exact coordinates? Current coordinates? My phone came back online. Let's see. Go for it, Chris. Good copy. So it's 39 degrees, 54 minutes, 54.7 minutes left. Good copy, Chris. Thank you. So that's our exact coordinates.
So for everybody who's not super familiar with the coordinates, is that kind of like halfway point, or you before or after halfway point right now?
We're after halfway point. We've actually covered 1,234 nautical miles, exactly 7 days at sea, and our halfway point was passed last night, I think. So we still have around around 600 nautical miles more to go. So almost two-thirds of the way is done, and still no fish. Well, we caught one fish. It was a mai, but it was a baby, so we let it go, and therefore it doesn't count.
So anybody watching, don't hire Firat as a fishing captain for charter. Just do
even if you
just a beautiful yacht charter, explorations. Don't rely on fishing on him.
No fishing.
no, not unless you want to lose weight. No.
Well, we're wishing
Because you'll go hungry.
We're wishing you a great rest of the trip and wishing you some fish, lots of fish that you don't know what to do with.
Thank you.
And we're gonna go and actually film some more content for you guys. So we're gonna head out because we have just a few days here at the shipyard, and we'll see you later. Have a great journey.
Hello to the rest of the crew. Fair winds and be safe.
Thank you so much, guys. It's really good to see you. And have fun over there.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Say hi to everyone.
I guess.
Will do.
I guess we will see each other in Lisbon, and
yes,
right there we will break this curse of no fish. So from this point we will fish constantly, and maybe we'll have another live from Lisbon.
Sure, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Looking forward to it. Well, this has been great. Thank you. Thank you, Alexi.
I want to say thank you to everyone who watch us, and if you like it, we will keep it and keep this format. It's new for me. It's new for Firat. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, please. And thanks to the team. They've done an amazing job putting all this together and instructed me from halfway across the
world. Thank you to Starlink.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to Starlink.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you soon, Alexei. Take care.
Bye-bye.